Especially when Kyrie looked him in the face, according to reports, and told him, "You washed up." He said that to him.
Yeah.
That's part of the reason they had to fall out in Brooklyn.
Wow.
And
Reports are this has been going on for 2 years.
yes,
There was the one report yesterday that it got so bad in practice going back 2 years ago that Chris Paul was making fun of James' man boobs in practice to the point that he broke down in tears and had to leave a couple of practices.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Real Sports Updates here. Back again with another video. And those two videos that you just seen is all you need to know about the sports media, the narratives they create, and the damage that they can do to athletes, teams, you know, the money that they cost people. That was absolutely ridiculous. Now, this video is it can be comical in nature, but you know what this really shows is how sad and how desperate the sports media is to create narratives and to put things out there without verifying sources. And the crazy thing about this is that Skip Bayless, Stephen A. Smith, Chris Broussard, all of these guys tout their journalism careers. They tout their journalism careers, who they you know, what publications they wrote for, the New York Times and all of this stuff. Yet these guys will get on TV with tweets that they've seen. They are not verified. Tweets that are just made up from just different parody accounts, troll accounts, whatever. They will get on TV and quote these tweets and cite these tweets as evidence of something happening that never happened in reality. It's absolutely ridiculous. Stephen A. Smith, he got caught in 4K. Ballsack Sports is the Twitter account that Stephen A. Smith, you know, cited on First Take yesterday, while talking to the great Magic Johnson as well too. And obviously Magic is not an insider, so he's just, you know, agreeing with him. He doesn't really know what he's talking about. He's just giving him the benefit of the doubt because it's coming out of his mouth. Absolutely ridiculous. No accountability whatsoever. ESPN, Stephen A. Smith, they have to be embarrassed by this situation. This is absolutely ridiculous. And for the people, like, I'm not somebody who's going to tell you what to watch and all this stuff. I'm not believing anything that Stephen A. Smith says. And I alluded to this in previous videos, you know, that I've done on my channel. I've alluded to this before. And I'm not an insider or anything like that, but I had a friend that worked at ESPN for a little while. Obviously not in a on-air role, but he did work at ESPN just for a couple years behind the scenes. And he told me that these guys, when they put out there that they have sources and all that stuff, it's not sourced. It's not sourced because he had to, when guys would say something or they were going to report to a source or report about a source or report about something happening, whatever, he was the guy who had to go and do his research and check and make sure that not even that this story was out there, but that it was plausible and that they can't get sued for it and basically stuff like that. So he told me that most of this stuff is bullshit. When they put out sources say this, sources say that, sources say this, a lot of it is bullshit. And specifically Stephen A. Smith, he don't have sources like that because he's burned too many bridges. Now I'm just talking about the NBA circle right now. He does talk NFL, but he's not really connected to the NFL. People in the NFL don't talk to him because they know who he is. He does not have a great reputation, you know, as far as being an insider and people telling him stuff, because he will leak things whenever it is beneficial for him, whenever he can talk about it on the show. So the NFL people stay away from Stephen A. Smith. Now, the NBA people, you know, it hasn't always been like this, but now the NBA people, they steer clear of Stephen A. Smith because he has on multiple occasions, you know, went on TV and talked about something that he wasn't supposed to talk about. Somebody told him something off the record and he went on TV and talked about it, right? And he didn't necessarily name the person who gave him the information, or he didn't really tell the whole story, but he did allude to things that were told to him off the record. Which in journalism, you know, if you do that, people tell you stuff off the record and you go on TV talking about it, that's the number one way to burn all your bridges. And all of your quote unquote sources are no longer your sources because you've shown that you're not trustworthy with information. So this is why excuse me, this is why Stephen A. Smith, this is why First Take, and a lot of what they talk about pertaining to the NBA is all narrative based, and it's all stuff that they make up. Because Stephen A. Players don't talk to him. Players are not, they're not cool with him. They don't want to talk to him. Coaches don't talk to him. General managers, front office people, there's not, most of the league won't talk to him. Now, I think he does have like friends that he's known for a long time in like certain organizations, but from what I've heard and what my boy told me is that people won't tell him things that cannot get out. Like if it's something that absolutely cannot get out, if it's something that has to stay in the wraps, people won't tell him anything. And so, you know, when he does get like little tidbits of information, it's things that are going to get reported pretty soon by, you know, the national media, or it's something that a local reporter might, you know, have the same type of information as well too. But Stephen A. has the platform, the local reporter doesn't. But basically, teams, players, everybody does not trust him because of, you know, his propensity to go on TV and allude to things and hey, I got a secret and I'll tell you a little bit of it, but I'm not going to tell you everything. And I'm not going to tell you who told me, but I'm going to tell you like a lot of it is just so. It really is messed up because First Take has, you know, they have a platform. They have the perfect platform, the perfect audience to go out and put on a regular show, but a good show, and you know, talk about things that they know, not make up stories, not trying to break stories and all that stuff. Because these people, you're a media personality now. You can't be an insider and then still be on these shows as well too. People are not going to trust you. Like it doesn't happen. Like Adam Schefter is not on these shows. The Rappaport is not on these shows. Shams is not on, you know, the talk opinion shows. Neither is Woj. Like you have to be an insider and to get, you know, valuable information that's coming towards you. You have to be a reporter and a journalist, and you have to just report what's out and not have an opinion on it and this and that and blah blah blah. And from what I heard as well too is that Stephen A. really lost the little respect that he did have from some coaches. He lost it all when he started taking shots at Kyrie Irving for the vaccine thing. So he really is persona non grata with a lot of people now. So this really, really, really shows. I mean, he really, really is exposed off of this. Like a lot of people have said different things before, and I'm not sure if they really proved that he was making stuff up or he was bullshitting, but this is solid evidence as to why you really can't believe what these people are saying. Same thing with Skip Bayless. Same thing with Chris Broussard. I posted, you know, you've seen the video with Skip Bayless. The Chris Broussard thing, and I would encourage, you know, the viewers to go and look this up for yourself. Chris Broussard, he's on FS1. First Things First, with the show with Nick Wright and those, you know, I think it's like 3 or 4 people. But back in 2019, the summer of 2019, when Kawhi Leonard was a free agent and, you know, the Lakers and the Clippers, and it came down to all of that stuff, Chris Broussard was the only person reporting quote-unquote news at the time when Kawhi Leonard, he had told everybody that he you know, wasn't going to make a decision for a while, whatever. Chris Broussard was the only person reporting news. He was the only person reporting news. And there's a YouTube channel, I believe it's called Basketball Examine. Shout out to them. They don't really put a lot of videos out, but when they do, they give great information, and all of it is verified, and they go over a lot of facts, and you know, none of it is opinions. So Chris Broussard during that time was getting his news, and his sources were Laker fans who were teenagers on Twitter who were making stuff up. Like I remember one tweet was, it's like some kid, I think he was like 16 or 17. Obviously he was a Laker fan, but he was tweeting that, you know, Kawhi Leonard was there at the Lakers facility, like signing a contract or getting ready to sign a contract or something like that. And this 16, 17-year-old kid was tweeting this, and Chris Broussard was looking at these tweets, and he was going on TV on Undisputed every morning and reporting this type of stuff, that it's almost done, and the contract with the Lakers is almost done, and he's gonna sign this contract, and it's almost gonna be almost, and you know, just a few days, and then they'll announce it. It was exactly what this kid was tweeting. And this is what Chris Broussard was looking at. Again, reporter, right? Reporter, written for all these big publications. Supposedly has all these sources and all this stuff. He was looking at this kid's Twitter and reporting it as news. Real news. Reporting it as real, legitimate news. This is what people need to understand. Like when you watch these morning shows, like if you do watch it, whatever, that's fine. But know that it is entertainment. It is along the likes of, all of these really super political shows. And no matter what side you're on, right, left, whatever it is, like there is political shows that, they tend to your interest, right? They tell you what you want to hear, whatever, it's not. But, a lot of times, most of the time, it's not based in fact. It's just narratives created and narratives that continue to build, right? Until they build and build and build and build. And it's just, they pretty much, whatever your bias is, they satisfy your bias by talking about it, by quote unquote reporting this stuff. And it's just all made up stuff. At the end of the day, it's just all made up. It's a lot of bullshit. This is pretty much what the sports morning shows are now at this point. This is why I stopped tuning in a long time ago. This is just, it's ridiculous now. It's at a point where it's ridiculous. And there are so many troll accounts. There's so many people on Twitter who are talking sports, who are talking basketball, whatever. They're on there trolling. And it is amazing that these tweets make it to the desk of these people who we see on TV. The people who, most people trust to give them, correct sports news, accurate sports news. These tweets from these troll accounts end up on these people's desk every day. And, they come on TV and they'll talk about it and they'll say stuff. And, how many other times has this happened, right? Do we have to go back and look now? I'm sure somebody will, but I'm pretty sure that this is not the first time that this has happened, right? There's legitimate evidence to see that these people are making a lot of bullshit up. And you would think that they are too. Like, they do a morning show every single day. Like, I know there's sports stuff going on every single day, but is there that there's not enough like great sports news stories to have put on a great show every single day. And I know they take time off around certain times of the year or whatever it was, but there's not enough great sports news to put out a show every day, to keep putting out content. It's 2-hour shows, 2.5-hour shows. They need to fill time, so they're gonna make shit up. And they're gonna get shit from people who are trolls, whatever. They're gonna make it up, and they're gonna fill time with these fake stories. And a lot of people fall for it as if it is the truth. If Stephen A. Smith says something, people take it like as it's the gospel because Stephen A. Smith said it. No, he's making shit up. He's making shit up to fill time on his TV show, and he's making shit up to keep a narrative going that people can keep talking about. That way, they can get these stories going again. But it really is, man. It's just I'm so glad this came out. This is long overdue. This is well needed. These people need to be exposed for the frauds, the charlatans as they are. And this is part of the reason why I wanted to start a sports channel on YouTube, because I'm watching this and I'm looking at the these reports and all this stuff, and this doesn't line up with what really is going on the court. All of a sudden you start putting 2 and 2 together. You're like, wow, these people are lying, or they're liars. They're not telling the truth about this, or whatever. They're trying to push a narrative out to you that they want you to eat up without you verifying that it's actually true. So this is what's been going on for a really, really long time, and I'm glad this came out. I'm glad that this can be exposed. I hope this video does really well as far as views, because I want people to see what's going on. But that's all I got for this one, guys. Sound off in the comments. Don't forget to give me a like. Let me know what you think about this whole situation. This is very interesting. Like I said, it's comical, but it's also sad. But that's pretty much all I got for this one, guys. Thank you for the support, and until next time.